After mild success with making my first brass bell, I decided to make a second one for a friend who's retiring from his job. I feel like one of the nicest things you can give someone is the gift of learning a new skill so you can make a new thing. I actually pulled my mics out for this one to score a couple of lines just so the design that I put into it with my engraving tool was going to be somewhat centered. This was the pastor who works for hospice, and he was also in the Air Force for 30 years, so what I tried to do was to create an angel kind of holding a heart like a hospice sign does, and also incorporate that Air Force logo into the wings. This is the design I ultimately came up with. I'm trying to transfer it here onto the brass, do a fine job, and then engrave it in with my Dremel tool. Also on either side of it, I engraved the words safety and guidance, because what he told me he wants to do in his retirement is to buy a motorcycle and ride around. So this is going to be a guardian bell or an angel bell. If you're not familiar with them, they're a bell that you hang on the bottom of your motorcycle to chase away gremlins and other little road demons to keep you safe. It's considered bad luck to buy your own, so you have to be gifted one. So I'm not only gifting him one, but I'm making him one. I again opted for the silver solder, which I admittedly need a lot of practice with. There's also probably some equipment that I need because trying to pinch it in my vise using a glove isn't working. Heat it up, set things on fire. I mean, it was working till it wasn't working. I also wanted to mention that I learned how to anneal brass, which is to just get it really hot and to quench it, and that's what softens it, and that's what allows it to ring. This guardian bell is being made for a preacher who has come here and given spiritual guidance and comfort in our time of needing that type of thing during my aunt's stint on hospice. And I gotta say, it's rare that I find people in my life who, after the first meeting, you're like, wow, that's a really neat, kind of warm, authentic, genuine person that I would spend more time with if I had the opportunity. And it's even rarer to find someone who's a real church-going type person, much less a pastor. So I'm really impressed with this guy's character, and he's just been so good to our family in the short time that I've known him, so I really wanted to make a bell for the guy. Cold working it with the hammer like this is going to put uneven stresses into it, so I'm going to have to hit it with a torch later and then re-quench it. I was also really close to making a spring tool or a spring fuller for this so that I could hammer the center of that bell. Norm sent me a link, of course, but I didn't. I didn't want to commit myself to another project that night. It took me a lot of personal willpower to not get into another project of making a spring fuller. We'll save that for another time. I made the clapper the same way I made for the last one, which is to get 2 lengths of stainless steel TIG wire and hammer it out wide enough that I could drill through with a 1/16 inch drill bit, and then I made this tiny little coupling with a tiny little piece of 1/16 inch wire. Of course, after outfitting my Sentinel, my favorite hood, with new batteries. No, I haven't touched my speed glass again. I'm still angry at it. I used a little barkeeper's friend and a little bit of Brasso to bring back the shine on this. And then I used the Dremel tool just to kind of go over my pattern a little bit again. It's far from a professional job, especially with that hook, but the hook is also not going anywhere. And I really loaded it up with that silver solder, but I needed to fill the gap. This guy's touched a lot of people's lives and seems to have a lot of friends, so I was honored to do a little build for him, and I hope he likes it.